So hello again, this is still Engineer Louis John Alcarde from MIDAS IT Philippines, and today naman po ang ituturo ko sa inyo ay yung ating irregular reinforced concrete building using MIDAS nGEN. Now in this tutorial we will learn how to use the CAD import function and CAD tracing function ng ating MIDAS Gen, but of course with the help of our AutoCAD alternative MIDAS drawing. Now we will begin this project by importing the file to our MIDAS drawing. Now ang mga files po na ito we can download in our website, which is en.midasuser.com, and just look for the tutorials and download the files for irregular reinforced concrete building. Now we'll begin by importing, and first po nating i-import yung ating first floor plan, as you can see here. And after importing this, we will begin with editing the grid by just putting edit grid in our command. Press enter. And dito naman po for our editor, we will acknowledge our center lines, column lines, wall lines, and so on. Lahat po ng may laman na layers we will transfer, and we will just click on save for that. And of course we will also use our base point, so let's click on viewpoint, and we will select this corner here as our base point, and we will name this 1F plan underscore grid. We can just save that on the same folder. And now we are ready to go on to our next step, which is going to nGEN. Let's open nGEN first. Kikita po natin na we have already opened a new project. At this time, we can save this project here. Papangalanan po natin siyang IRCB. Let's save that. And we will now go to our tracing under our structure tabs. Under tracing file import, we will import this, the one that we did earlier, 1F plan grid. And ang scale factor na gagamitin is gonna be 0.001, and click on OK. Now after doing that, we will now modify our story data. Now sa story data naman po, we will name it T1 and just add that. Click on OK, and we will add a new story to our building. Now we will start off with 3 numbers of stories with a height of 2.8 meters each. Just click on OK. And for the first floor naman, we will import the CAD drawing that we have generated earlier, which is 1F plan grid. Just click on that and click on OK. As you can see here, na-import na po yung ating grid for our first floor, and this is where we will trace for our modeling na part. Now, the first thing that we will do is we go to define. So we can define our material first. Let's proceed to reinforced concrete since we are making a reinforced concrete building today. Ang code na gagamitin is ASTM, and under in the database we will choose grade C4000 for the concrete, and let's click OK for that. Now we can always check what we did with our model here in our works tree. Under property, makikita po natin under material that we have already added grade C4000 material in here. Now after that, we go now to 2D thickness. So we can define the thickness of our slab that we will make later on. material na gagamitin for this slab is gonna be grade C 4000. And the thickness naman i-assign natin is 0.55 meters. Thickness, which is 550 millimeters, and just click on OK. Now we go to story, and we will now generate our slab first. Now go to member, and under 2D member, we will generate the slab. Nasa slab naman po, we will choose the analysis type to be slab plate out in. Thickness na gagamitin natin is gonna be 550. And we will select by draw. Now, ito pong area na green, dyan po tayo maglalagay ng slab, so we can just connect the corners by clicking on the corners following the green line. We can close this by just clicking on the spacebar. Now, as you can see, we have created our slab already, which is 0.55 meters in thickness. Now we can also confirm that in our properties. Under the member, under superstructure, we have one slab created. Just close this. And now we can go on to creating naman ating columns. We go to our top view and we click on column. Now this time we will be using grade C 4000 pa rin. And we will select by select. So what we will do is select these columns here dun po sa ating plan. After doing that, we can just click on or press on our spacebar to auto-generate the columns there. Now, after making sure that we have created this, we can as well check that in our works tree. Meron po tayong create na columns. Now, dito po sa ating works tree, we will modify one thickness, which is the 150 millimeter thickness, because it is using C30/37. You can right click on this and modify this to change the material to grade C 4000. Thickness will be 0.15 meters still, and click on OK. So as you can see here, that we have already changed the material na gagamitin natin for our walls. Now, as we go back to our story here, we will now create our walls. Now, on creating our walls, just click on wall under member. And ang gagamitin po nating analysis type is gonna be a meshed, plate meshed. We will select this reference line, select wall, and we will select by 2 points. So what we can do here is to create our walls in this manner. See? So you can see we have created those walls already, and we will create another one in here. Let's escape. Now, when we go back to our 3D view, we can see that we have created these members already just by using our floor plan for our first floor. Then we have created our first floor already, but we are not done yet. We will still create openings in these walls. But before we do that, we don't want to see always our slab in here, so we can select that. and right click on any open area in your works area and like click on hide only, so we can hide that. One way of hiding din po yung ating thickness is just a shortcut here. We can show or hide our thickness in this button here, or even our sections, you can see. But for now, we will only hide our thickness, and we will now begin creating our openings in these walls. So first thing we'll do is we go to our body tabs and we go to line, because we will be creating lines here where we will create our openings. So begin po tayo dito. Now as you can see here, these are the coordinates na pwede po natin gamitin. So we will, for ease, we will just input 0, 0, and 2.8, since 2.8 po yung height ng ating wall. And then press on your spacebar to finish. And let's make another one in here with still 0, 0, 2.8. Close that. And let's make the last one dun sa baba. Now, after making sure that we have created all 4 lines there, we will now click on move and select the lower line. Just drag the blue arrow up, and we will put the distance here. Iaakyat po natin siya ng 1.65 meters. And then click on enter. Oops. Sorry. Let's review that again. Let's create this line again. Move. There you go. 1.65. So there, umakit na po yung ating line by 1.65 meters. And we will also move this line here. Ibaba po natin siya ng negative 0.75 meters naman. So obviously this is gonna be a window. And what we can do next is to create the opening. Since lines pa lang po yung nakikita natin dyan, we can go back to our member tabs and select opening. By selecting this area here and clicking on enter, we can now see that we have created our opening in that area. Now, hindi lang naman po yan yung only area that we will do. We will also create our doors in these areas here. So same thing that we did with the window. We'll begin by creating the lines. Ganun pa rin po, 0, 0, 2.8. Another one in here. Lastly, yung isa sa baba. We can create another one dito sa 0, 0, 2.8. Another one in here. Close that. Lastly, yung isang line dun sa baba. Now what we can do is we can simultaneously move these areas and we will move that 0.6 meters, negative 0.6 meters pababa, and then click on enter. And just like what we did with the window, we will create an opening in here. So go to member, select opening, select this area here, press enter. So you can see excuse me, that we have created the openings in there. Last but not the least, we'll still create an opening in here, which is a wide window. So ganun pa rin po, we will create first the lines, same thing that we did earlier, 0, 0, 2.8, another one in here, close that at the top. Lastly, yung line dun sa bottom. Just like what we did, we move the line a negative, let's say 0.4 meters down, and we move the next line (1.65 meters up. Click on enter. You can see that we have created that. Now we go to opening. We will create those openings there. Now we can go back and activate all by just clicking on the open area and show hide all members. We can show back our slab. We can show our thickness. So ito na po yung ating first floor. The next thing that we will do is we go back to our MIDAS drawing, and we will import another file. Now this time for our second floor. Ito naman po, just like what we did, we will edit the grid of this. We will transfer. Let's check this bubble. Ano ba ito? Okay, not necessary. After doing that, we can just save this and change our viewpoint. Same po nung viewpoint, yung base point kanina na in-assign natin sa ating first floor so that they will align. And we will name this second floor plan grid. Just save this, second floor plan grid. Click on save, close this and close this. And we can go back to our nGEN. Katulad po yung ginawa natin kanina, we will tracing file import. Import po natin si 2F plan grid. Open. Scale factor is still 0.001 and click on OK. Now sa story data naman, here sa ating CAD drawing, we will assign 2F plan grid for our second floor. Click on OK. As you can see, we have already our second floor plan atop our first floor. So galing po dyan, gagawa po tayo ulit ng ating this time beams naman po. Now we go to our story, so we can focus on our second floor only. Ito lamang po yung makikita natin, and we go directly to our member. And we will now create our beams. Now the first beam that we will create is naka-default na siya, so we will be using SB 400 by 600 for this. We will select by draw. So we will create our beams, say from this point to this point. can see we have created our beam there, pero pwede po natin siyang itago. And also create the beams around this area. But we can see that we have created those beams right there, and we will create another beam in here. There's going to be a different beam. Let's select SP 500 by 500. Let's create that beam. Now, as you can see, as we turn our section on again, you can see that we have created those beams already. Now, after creating those beams, what we will do next is we will define another section, which is a 1D section. And it, of course, is going to be concrete, solid rectangle. Ang base po nito is gagamitin natin 400, and ang height naman is 700. You can click on Insert Template and click on Apply. After closing this, we will click on Section Template. Solid rectangle pa rin siya. Base, which is a base of 150 and a height of 700 mm. Click on Insert Template section and click on Apply. Now, we go back to our model and we will create the beams again. Now, this time what we will be using is going to be the 400 by 700. We'll begin here. Dito. And we can just close that. We will create the other beam, yung 150 by 700, and these areas right here, in here, close that there. Okay, as we turn it on again, makikita po natin that we have created those beams already. Those are not complete yet. We will still input some of the interior beams in here, of which we will be using 400 by 700. First is we will create the beam from here to this point. Up to that point as well. And we will create another beam dito sa gitna, which is here. Only to that point. Let's check. Lastly, again, we will still create another beam from this point in this point and that intersection in this point. And lastly, we will create these beams right here. Now, as you can see, we have created those beams in there already. Okay, so next thing we will do is we go back to our second floor, and this time we will create our slab again. Now sa slab naman po, ganun pa rin, we will use, but this time we will use only 150mm slab, plate out in. And this time we will use it by selecting. We will select entire structure. You can see those are the areas na lalagyan ng slab ni MIDAS nGEN, and just click on enter. And as you can see, we have already created those slabs already. Now what we can do is we will delete this part by just clicking on that, and you can press delete on your keyboards, so you can delete that. Now we will create another slab of T150 slab plate at in, and in selecting we will be selecting by draw, and we will select this triangular area here. And there you go, we have created our slab for our second floor. And we will create the walls here above our second floor, like we'll show this, show everything. We will create them as until makarating po tayo dito sa next na slide natin, which is this. So as you can see, this is the finished irregular reinforced concrete building. These walls and slabs here, they are created just the same way as the first floors are created. So this is it. We are done with our modeling part. We can just follow this model here. As you can see, we already have 6 floors of reinforced concrete building, or 5 floors rather, with a roof. So I hope na makasunod po, masundan niyo po ito. These are pretty easy to make, but I did not include it in the video na lang kasi po it will take a lot of time. So you can just learn to yourself. Basta ang gamitin nyo lang po is the same strategy as the ones that I have presented. Those are pretty easy to follow. So I hope na makafollow po kayo so that we can proceed on the next video, which is our loads. Now, thank you so much for watching. I hope na I'll see you again in the next video. And thank you so much. Have a great day.